we have an aging population, and people in their 60s and 70s and 80s, don't want to deal with the maintenance of owning a home and the work and so forth. So we're finding the biggest growth of renters in general by far is the baby boomer generation.
Wow.
By far, that's the biggest growth in rentership is from baby boomers.
But they don't want an apartment. They don't want the apartment. They want that community that you're talking about, the house to rent.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, they do move into apartments as well, because a lot of markets, that's all there is. But yeah, they want to go into a rental where they don't have to manage everything anymore. So the older people want to be renters. We all have probably heard the stats that people are starting their families much later in life. And people are then in turn staying renters much longer, right? And then, we all know that people, change careers, 5-6 times, actual career paths, let alone jobs every 4 or 5 years today. So because we're more transient as a society today, we're not staying hooked to one job, one career. More and more people like the flexibility of not being tied down to owning a home. Another thing that has increased the amount of people who want to be renters is that a lot of younger generation, came of age during the last, Great Recession. And so they have all the foreclosures and whatnot. So the kind of American dream of home ownership has declined a lot for the current generations. That's not considered part of the dream. I mean, think about, we're in a society today of Uber and so forth, where it's not about owning anymore. It's about borrowing, right? Using somebody else's things. Less and less young people want to own cars anymore even, right? So there's no doubt the younger generation and the older generation are becoming renters. And then, the average, I'll call it just family, those in their 30s and 40s and 50s, some are staying renters by, because they don't have any other choice. Either they can't get financing because it's not as easy as it once was, or they have some damage from past mistakes, or, the cost of housing has gone up. So all those reasons have helped continue to grow rentership. And then COVID came along, and more people, and it's not nearly as dramatic as I think the news likes to make it sound like. The whole world's not going to go work virtual. Especially younger people need to get back in the office and need to build relationships with their peers to be able to really move up in their career. But there's no doubt that we've sped up the process of the percentage of people working from home. And so think about it, if all of a sudden your home went from just being the place you came to at night to now being where you work all day, to maybe even where your kids go to school all day, right? You need more space. So that need for additional space when your home is where you are most of the time has led to this tremendous growth in people not being okay in that 800 square foot apartment, needing some more space. So they got a room to turn into an office and so forth. So all these factors have led to rentership as a whole, but certainly larger rentals like single family homes being really, really desirable.
That's fascinating. That really is. I didn't know that those communities were that prevalent throughout the country, but it makes sense what you're saying. It really does.
It's still a small percentage of the market, but it's going to grow tremendously. Most of the big hedge funds out there that own single family rentals that you hear about, like BlackRock and American Homes for Rent, they're putting most of their focus around building rental communities now.
Wow. Well, they're going to have to keep up with you, though.
Starting your route to retirement.